If you heard this music, you know what's coming. Get it out. South Carolina. South Carolina. It is Swamp Justice Radio. The wild, where the wild things play. There it is. So, hey everybody, crime and cask covered. Let's turn this down a little bit. That's Swamp Justice Radio. You can check that out on Spotify. I do have that available. Maybe I'll put it in the link somewhere. That Swamp Justice Radio song. It's a cool little bluesy song. We have another song by another artist, a country artist, so stay tuned for that. On today's show, we're also going to talk about what? Well, a lot has been going on. Let me just tell you. First of all, the illustrious Elaine Greenberg is not with us. She is being very busy these days. She has, without getting into it, she has a case of her own that she's talked about up in New York. She is working diligently on that. So we are going to let her do that. But I know she would love to be in on this particular conversation, and that is our Supreme Court in the state of South Carolina is going, I was going to say going on a tear, but they're not going on a tear. They're doing their job the way they should be doing it. And what's interesting about that is that when I say they, so the Chief Justice of the state of South Carolina, his name is Chief Justice John Kittredge. He's been a justice for a long time. He's been a judge for a long time, and an attorney for the state of South Carolina. As far as I'm concerned, I think he's doing a great job. Others do have disagreements with him, but everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But so in his annual message to the South Carolina General Assembly about the state of the judiciary, the state newspaper down in Columbia, South Carolina, wrote an article where they talked about his Kittredge's address to the legislature. And there's some quotes in here that I do like. And there's some things where he gets into social media and podcasters. Not this podcaster, I can assure you. You'll find out who it is in a second. And then we're going to talk about the Office of Disciplinary Counsel. There are some attorneys that are getting disbarred like crazy, suspended and disbarred. And then, of course, we have everybody's favorite, EB out. By the way, everybody knows why I say, cask out. That's because I think it's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard a grown man say. Even though I do say it, it's because EB does it, and I'm just having a good time with that. But we're going to talk about EB because he is under investigation of the ODC, and he has, I think, a hearing coming up on May 4th to blame me for him being in front of that is kind of ridiculous, but we'll get into that as well. But let's get back to Justice John Kittredge. And he says here, and I quote, "In the judiciary, like you," referring to the legislature, "are aware of the half-truths and false narratives." I absolutely love this guy for saying this, "that circulate on social media." Oh, do we know? I mean, how many times have you heard a parent or somebody older be like, "Well, where'd you get that information?" "I saw it on Facebook." You saw it on Facebook. That's where you got it? Okay. And so he goes on to say, "and other outlets masquerading as journalism, attacking you, the legislatures, and our justice system." So I'm going to stop him right here for a second, because I can tell you for a fact, I have never attacked our legislature. I've never called them names. I have never attacked our justice system or called them names. So he's not referring to Maw over here at Swamp Justice Radio. Are there crooked sheriffs? Of course. And are there legislatures that are bad? Of course. There's a couple that have just gone to jail. Are there bad judges? Yes, of course there are. In fact, the Office of Supreme Court, which he heads, has, I think he's suspended and certainly publicly gone after some of these judges who have done wrong things as it pertains to their oath. And we'll get into that oath here in a minute. But he's not talking about me. He says, I believe you understand that judges are bound by ethical constraints. So are attorneys. And those rules prohibit judges from responding to attacks against court decisions, no matter how false or outrageous the allegation may be. Now, will I sit here and say that, for example, Alex Murdaugh, in the Alex Murdaugh case, that he was railroaded? Yes. Was it Judge Newman? No. Did Judge Newman do a fine job? Yes. Did he make mistakes? Yes. Do I make mistakes? Absolutely. But so we'll go into this. And he says, it's the ethical constraints that they cannot, as judges and attorneys, go out and make a false allegation or respond to a false allegation. And of course, the state newspaper says, well, he didn't identify any particular social media posting. But here we go. Last week, a South Carolina podcaster in a court session in which she was examined by a lawyer acknowledged she had repeatedly referred to Judge R. Keith Kelly, by the way, an amazing circuit court judge for the state of South Carolina. I wish we had more like him. But she referred to Judge R. Keith Kelly as R. Kelly. If some of you don't know, R. Kelly is a convicted sex trafficker and is sitting in federal prison right now. He used to be a rapper or a singer. I'm not sure. I didn't listen to his music nor like it. And the podcaster did not apologize and said R. Kelly is the judge's name. No, R. Kelly is not the judge's name. The judge's name is R. Keith Kelly. So who is the state newspaper talking about? Well, I'm going to pull something up here for you. Let's just we'll stop screen. I'm going to pull this up and we are going to see share screen. I'm going to show you a video I just did on TikTok. By the way, if you're not following me on TikTok, I have 116 screaming thousand fans, not 116, 116,000. And you guys are absolutely amazing. I appreciate it. But we're going to watch this. I'll watch this together with you. Courtroom. Here we go. Share it. Oh, there we are. There is Judge R. Keith Kelly up on top. There, underneath in the middle is attorney Debbie Barbier for the defense of Parker's. Greg Parker, Parker's Convenience Store. By the way, not a plug here, but absolutely love Parker's Convenience Store. They have, number one, the best ice anywhere. The cups are so easy to come out. The lids are right there. They know what they're doing. Their food is fantastic. Their drinks, cleanest bathroom I've ever been to in my entire life. And unfortunately, I've been around for a while. But if you're ever in the South, Georgia, South Carolina, go ahead over there. But anyway, here is Debbie Barbier talking to Manny on the stand. By the way, the podcaster that the state newspaper was referring to was Manny. So let's listen.
I don't know when you Did you decide not to come to 7 Plantation Park on March 27th, 2026? Did you decide that?
I believe that the Parker's team would come to me because I thought that they wanted my testimony, and I have nothing to do with this lawsuit.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt right there. When she said, I thought Parkers were going to come to me. Well, let me just, for everybody here, months had gone by, and her attorney, which is sitting right over there in the little glasses in the chair and the short sleeve dress, had agreed to the location and even posted the location publicly in a document on the public index in the South Carolina judiciary system. Here we go.
And I was offering my deposition at a place where I thought they.
Did you decide, Ms. Matt?
I offered my deposition at a place I decided. Did you hear that?
Not to come to 7 Plantation Park, Bluffton, South Carolina?
Objection asked and answered. We're harassing Miss Matney.
Yes or no?
We're harassing Miss Matney. Everybody's harassing Miss Matney. Oh my Lord. I mean, if a tick looks different in her, it's harassing her. But here we go.
Did you make that decision?
Do not go there.
Yes.
Do you know that for those of you who evaluate things, when you're looking at somebody that says it, and they think about it, and then they ask you a question about it, what are they doing? Put it in the comments.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, I did.
Nothing else. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh,
Media
I interrupted.
are
Let's listen to that
consistent
again.
with you being confused. Would you agree with that?
I was-
Because you tell your followers that you were
I
defiant
thought that
and not going to show up at that location, correct?
not with the judge's order. If there was a judge's order on that day, I would have showed up, but there wasn't.
There was one.
And I was confused about, I knew that there had to be a deposition within 14 days, and I didn't.
You knew that the subpoena said that, correct? Okay. And you've covered the court system for years and you know what a subpoena is, right? Okay. And you had the ability to appear that day, didn't you? And you made an intentional choice not to appear at 7 Plantation Park, Bluffton, South Carolina on March 27th, 2026. Isn't that right?
Objection to the extent that she's being asked to give a legal conclusion with respect to the meaning of intent in the contempt setting.
Do you make an intentional choice, Ms. Matney?
Here we go.
I don't know what you.
Did you decide not to come to 7 Plantation Park on March 27th, 2026? Did you decide that?
I believe that the Parker's team would come to me because I thought that they wanted my testimony, and I have nothing to do with this lawsuit. And I was offering my deposition at a place where I thought they.
Did you decide, Ms. Matney, not to come to 7 Plantation Park, Bluffton, South Carolina?
Objection asked and answered. We're harassing Miss Matney.
Yes or no? Did you make that decision?
Do not go there?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, I did.
There we go. That took a long time just to get that out. Like, yes. Yeah. Finally. So yes, she did make that decision on her own to not go to the court ordered deposition. She thought they would come to them. That's not how it works. And then Kittredge goes on to say, there's no perfect way to select judges, but I suggest that you, the legislature, has elected quality judges over the years. I would agree for the most part. Again, in anything you do, you're always going to have some bad apples. When the legislative body of 170 diverse members individually vet judicial candidates and then collectively elect judges, that diffusion of authority enhances merit selection. I like that. So he goes on, more judges needed. He talks about, excuse me, in 2000, the state's population was 4 million. Today, it's 5.5 million people. That's amazing. So, he's talking about we need more judges, and he thinks that they're doing the right way. He did talk about magistrate reform. South Carolina has more than 300 magistrates, by the way. They handle lesser civil disputes and criminal matters. What's interesting about magistrate court judges in the state of South Carolina, they are appointed, and they do not have to have any legal background or a law degree or have to be an attorney, anything. So he talks about pay and things like that. But one of the bigger things that they're coming up to and they're talking about is the Office of Disciplinary Counsel. I just got 2 notifications today, April 22nd, that the South Carolina Supreme Court has suspended 2 more attorneys. It almost seems like it's happening every week. But when we talk about Matney and that court hearing that you just heard, that you just watched, if you're on YouTube, you can see that's pretty much how Attorney Debbie Barbier examined Miss Matney. But here comes the but. On their podcast, Cup of Justice, which none of them seem to want to drink from, when I say they, it's Eric Bland, attorney Eric Bland, Liz Farrell, and Mandy Matney. Bland described Matney as being harassed, treated like a criminal, okay, and characterizing the courtroom experience as unfair and overly aggressive. Now, you just watched what was going on there. You decide for yourself. I've watched the whole thing. Source gave us that information, and that's pretty much how Debbie Barbier did her whole examination, which didn't look any different than ones I've seen before. Certainly didn't look any different than what Creighton Waters was doing with Alec Murdoch, and Eric Bland loved that. So I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. But here's the thing about attorneys often advocate forcefully for their clients or colleagues, and that's okay. But Bland's public commentary raised a more nuanced question. Did you like that? Nuanced question. And where the line between advocacy and commentary that may undermine confidence in courtroom proceedings. So here's where it gets down to the nitty-gritty. Bland's remarks appear primarily directed at Attorney Barbier. That's who was examining Mandy Matney. And she represents Parker's for the defense, right? But here's the thing. In any proceeding, the judge, in this case, Judge R. Keith Kelly, ultimately controls the courtroom. We talked to one legal source who had said, of course, legal source familiar with South Carolina law, but when criticism is directed at what occurred during the hearing, it can, fairly or not, be interpreted as criticism of how the proceeding was managed. Remember what I said about Judge Kittredge and podcasters. While Bland did not explicitly criticize the presiding judge, he characterized the events as sparked discussion on whether such statements indirectly call into question the fairness of the judicial process itself. I mean, here's the thing. Even I know who runs a courtroom. A judge does. But is it fair to say at this point, that Bland was not only attacking fellow attorney Barbier, but that he was also attacking Judge Kelly. Because if he goes on to that criticism and goes back to say, listen, she was attacked, she was harassed, everybody's harassed over there. I mean, come on, read the tea leaves, people. She was harassed, and what else did he say? Treated like a criminal. Well, it was Judge Kelly who sat there and watched the whole thing. You saw him standing right there. I mean, so it's the judge that does it. And Bland said the courtroom for Matney was unfair and overly aggressive. So is he saying that Judge R. Keith Kelly was overly aggressive and unfair? I don't know. I won't reach out to Mr. Bland because last time I sent a text to him, he said, don't contact me anymore. So I won't contact him anymore. But if he'd like to comment and give us a response without being defamatory or attacking me, we would certainly welcome that. But yeah, so the ODC scrutiny, let's add some context. So the timing of Bland's remarks are a little bit notable. He is currently a subject of his own ODC, Office of Disciplinary Counsel at the South Carolina Supreme Court, inquiry in a process that examines whether lawyers, attorneys have violated the professional rules of conduct. I think his hearing is coming up on May 4th. What's interesting about him is that, he goes out on his own social media and has attacked me, verbally called me names, defamed me, said I've done things I've never done. And not once, not twice, 3 times, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, 9, 10, but 13 or more times. It's probably more like 15 plus. I just stopped sending them to the ODC because I'm just like, he's just nonstop. But then he comes out and says that I'm lying about him. Now, here's the thing, Eric. I'm getting all the information that I've sent to the ODC from your own personal social media. Yeah. And so if I'm lying and I'm getting my evidence from your social media, who's the liar? Who's the liar in that one? Oh. Okay. So I just love that little thing there. And so in South Carolina Supreme Court, they've been going on a terror. Again, I use that word, but I don't know. Maybe it works. But they're doing their job, actively disciplining other attorneys and judges. Recent rulings demonstrate that the attorney conduct, both inside and outside the courtroom, is subject to meaningful oversight and discipline. I don't think the attorneys in the state of South Carolina are used to a Supreme Court making these type of decisions and making, these guys are getting suspended and disbarred. I've never seen it at this pace. In April of 2026, just this month, the court issued a public reprimand to an attorney who engaged in inappropriate personal conduct. The same day, the court imposed a 6-month suspension on another attorney whose off-duty conduct included assault, resisting arrest, disorderly behavior, including such actions reflected adversely on the attorney's fitness to practice law. And then there's been other ones where attorneys have been suspended 6 months to a year for making public rude comments to people in the general public on their social media. And we have 13 of them, at least. But what it said about this is that this decision here and these decisions underscore that the state's highest court, our Supreme Court, does not limit its oversight to courtroom performance alone. And that's a real distinction. Instead, it's evaluating whether the attorney's conduct, public or private, undermines the confidence in the legal profession or the administration of justice. Listen to that again. It evaluates our Supreme Court whether an attorney's conduct, public or private, undermines the confidence in the legal profession or the administration of justice. That, ladies and gentlemen, is huge for this South Carolina Supreme Court. But listen, ultimately, I think attorneys are afforded significant latitude in expressing opinions about other cases. However, I always love that word. However, when these opinions are broadcast to large audiences, particularly through podcasts and social media, the impact can extend beyond just being an advocate. Whether Bland's comments cross any professional line is a question that, if pursued, would fall within the purview of the disciplinary authorities, not me and not you. So we'll see. May 4th is coming up. He has certainly complained about the ODC in the past. He has made fun of the ODC in the past. And he and his other fellow podcasters have also, including just recently, Debbie Barbier, wanted their fans to go after and file ODC complaints against Debbie Barbier. That is that is coordinated harassment in the legal term. You can't make this stuff up. But for now, the episode underscores what I consider what's a growing tension between the legal advocacy, media commentary, and the responsibility that comes with both of being an attorney and a podcaster. And as I said, we reached out to Bland for a comment, but we did not communicate with him. He has requested that. By the way, I'm not the only media outlet that he's done that to. I read a recent article where Fitz News wrote about him, where Eric Bland, made a comment on his podcast, Cup of Justice, I believe it was, about Justice Jean Toll, who proceeded over the Alec Murdaugh hearing and said something derogatory to the effect that she pees in every corner of the room. He might have an ODC complaint on that too, but that was published by a publisher over there, Will Folks at Fitz News, and he said the same thing that Bland told him: "Don't ever contact me again." So that seems to be a thing with them, huh? Okay, and last, we're getting here at 27 minutes, not too bad. We're going to debut a song by, and if you haven't heard it, it is a country song. It is all about the Low Country in South Carolina, by recording artist Jimmy Red. Jimmy Red. Let me get Jimmy Red on. I love this song. By the way, our good friend over at Patriot Radio, Mike Covert, he loves this song, plays it all the time. Low Country Lines by Jimmy Red. I think this is probably the debut of this particular song, Low Country Lines by Jimmy Red. I want you to listen to the words, because it's all about South Carolina. It's quite a bit about the Low Country, Beaufort, South Carolina to Charleston, all points in between. I'm just going to shut up and let you guys listen to it. Here it is, Low Country Lines by Jimmy Red. Low Country Lines.
Sunset bleeding over Folly Beach. Shrimp boats rocking just out of reach. Marsh grass swaying like it knows my name.
Same old river, but it ain't the same.
Spanish moss in a live oak tree. She's barefoot dancing right next to me. Got a Dixie cup full of Tennessee gold and a story that her daddy told. We ain't in no hurry. Baby, let it roll like the tide coming in on a Carolina soul. Carolina. country line, salt in the air, and whiskey on ice. Girls that smile like a summer night under those Charleston lights. From the backwoods deer stand on to a dock where the redfish run. Saturday.
We're coming to part of this.
Shotgun sky, duck blind waiting as the birds fly by. Camouflage and a thermos cup, cold morning air gonna wake you up. Downtown King Street, neon glow, she laughing loud at a country show. Got sand on boots from Sullivan Shore, says she ain't leaving, wants a little more. Every mile marker down Highway 17 feels like a memory wrapped in gasoline. We're living on low country line, salt in the air, and whiskey on ice. Girls that shine like a harvest moon, singing every word out of tune. From the pine woods to the ocean side, we run these roads like a rising tide. Yeah, we don't need much to feel just right, just a little faith and a Friday night. Cypress knees and Carolina rain, football lights and a freight train. From Columbia down to Milford town, you can feel that heartbeat in the ground. Raise it up for the old homestay, for the ones we love and the ones we wait for. Every backward memory made in the life where the good Lord stay. We're living on low country lines, whiskey burning, sweet tea wine. Girls that love like a hurricane, but kiss you soft like summer rain. From the deer woods to the attic blue, there ain't no place like me and you. Yeah, we don't need much to feel just right, just South Carolina and a Saturday night.
All right, I'm going to end it there. What a fantastic song. You can go check that out. It's on Spotify. It's on Amazon. It is on Apple Music. It's basically wherever you find it. I've even seen it on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. If you want to add it to any of your videos, I think it's a pretty cool song. So go check that out. Jimmy Ridd from Charleston, South Carolina. Fantastic song. He's got a new album coming out called South Carolina. Pretty soon. I think it's May 14th is the new album that's coming out. But we got Swamp Justice Radio right here, and we're going to end it up. But I want to thank you guys for listening. We're going to get some other guests on here soon. We'll get Callie Lyons back. We'll get the illustrious Elaine Greenberg back. Have some special guests coming up. We're going to continue talking about the Birchfield case down in Lancaster, South Carolina. Actually, I should say up in Lancaster, South Carolina. Over in Beaufort, we got some things going on. They're saying some things going on up in Sumter. Lots going on, and we're still waiting very patiently, by the way, for the Chief Justice of the state of South Carolina. We're waiting very patiently for your decision. I think I know what your decision is, but we're still waiting patiently to see what your decision is in the Alex Murdaugh case. I think we're going to have Alex Murdaugh Part 2, but we'll wait to see what the Chief Justice and the others have to say about that. And what else? Oh, yeah, we're going to wait and see. I think Mandy Matney, we're waiting on some orders for that. On the Beach v. Parker's case, there may be contempt charges. There may be jail time. There may be sanctions. There may be fees, expenses. This could be a costly one. I asked somebody the other day what they thought about it, who's in the business, and they think it could be up to $50,000, maybe more. Anyway, we're going to go. Swamp Justice Radio, you're listening to us. Let me turn this up a little bit. Radio crackles. All right, Swamp Justice Radio, we're out of here. 34 minutes. We kept you under an hour. I appreciate y'all. Check us out. We are over at crimeandcast.com, and or we're everywhere. We're everywhere. That's all I got to say. I don't even have to say them anymore. We're everywhere. See you. Crime and Cast out. Thanks, EB. See you. Bye.